How many of you would like to have a whole lot more money in your life? And how many of you would like to have more happiness in your life? And how many of you wouldn't mind having a whole lot more of both in your life? Well, you've definitely come to the right place. My name is Paul Guerrero, and welcome to The Millionaire Mind, the secret psychology of wealth. I want to first acknowledge you for being here, because I once heard it said that 80% of success is just showing up. It's just doing what, please? Showing up. Exactly. And since I can't get out there and shake each and every one of your hands, do me a favor, reach around both of your neighbors and pat them on the back and say, congratulations for being here. Thank you. I want to thank you for your time and your courage. You know, it takes courage to be 100% honest and really admit what's going on in your life. Most people are not good admitters. This reminds me of a story. Would it be okay if I just took a short minute and told you a story? Thank you. A lion came across a monkey in the jungle on a path and said, "Who's the king of the jungle?" And the monkey said, "Well, you are, lion." And the lion said, "That's right, and don't you forget it." A little bit while longer, the lion comes across a snake and says the exact same question. "Who's the king of the jungle?" And the snake goes, "Well, you are, of course, lion." And the lion goes, "That's right, and don't you forget it." Finally, the lion meets up with an elephant, asks the same exact question. And without saying a word, the elephant picks up the lion by his trunk, throws him against the tree, steps on his tail, picks him up, slams him to the ground, walks away, and the battered lion finally goes, "Hey, you don't have to get mad just because you don't know the answer." I know, pretty bad joke, but sorry, they don't get much better from here, so laugh now. So I have two rules. How many rules, please? Exactly. The first one is, don't believe a word I say. Now, why would I suggest that? Well, whose experience can I come from? Exactly, my own. Now, it doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong, doesn't make it true, doesn't make it false. It only makes it my experience. Exactly. But this information has helped transform not only my life, but the lives of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of others. Exactly. If you're willing to learn and use the information, it can actually transform your life too. All I ask is that you be open. That you be what, please? Open. Thank you. Try these principles out for yourself. What works, keep on doing, and what doesn't, you're welcome to throw out. Does that sound fair? Thank you. So how many of you are willing to be open today? How many not? We'll see. As for rule number 2, how many of you would like to get the most out of today? Would you like to learn faster? Remember more? Great. Anyone know the key? Well, research says the most effective learning comes from involvement. It comes from what, please? Involvement. Yes. And by the way, how many of you notice I ask a whole lot of questions? Now, why questions? Well, questions hook the mind. Exactly. Also, you might notice I leave the last word off the end of my sentence, and your mind just fills in the blank. I might also ask you to repeat something. I might ask you to do what, please? Repeat something. Well, why? Well, of course, first, involvement. Also, second, if I say something, it means one thing. But if you say something, it means everything. So how many of you are willing to participate at 100%? Anyone not? We'll find out. So since we're going to be spending the next little while together, would it be okay if I told you a little bit about myself and how I got here today? Thank you. Well, for the past 6 years, I've actually been studying under many of the master trainers through Peak Potentials Training, who have helped thousands and thousands of other trainers become more authentic and powerful trainers. Within those same 6 years, I've actually led a local support group in Arizona of other Peak Potentials graduates, as well as the past 2 years, led hundreds more through a co-organization called the Phoenix 2% Club. That club is actually modeled after the philosophies and teachings of T. Harv Eker's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And also, I've been honored to have shared the stage with one of Peak Potential's master international trainers, Margene Holden. But it wasn't always like that. You see, I wasn't always comfortable speaking on the stage or in front of a large group of people. I was a professional figure skater for 20 plus years of my life. And in that profession, I was great at doing all the triple sow cows, the backflips, the double lutzes, wearing the great costumes and not having to say a single word. But if you had asked me 20 some odd years ago if I would get up in front of the room and deliver a speech or do the training, I would have said, "Where's the back door?" So, after being a professional skater for that number of years, I finally decided I needed to do something else because I knew that my body would not be able to do that type of high-level performance for very much longer. And I had never gone to college because, you see, my parents had lost their nest egg of investment money for my college education, as well as my other two brothers, in a real estate investment scam down in Florida. So it was going to be up to me if I was going to be paying for my own education. However, I didn't have the funds. How many of you can relate to wanting to further your education and not having the money to do so? Exactly. So I could have continued to skate or maybe coach skating, but I realized that I was basically teaching other people's children how to fulfill their dreams rather than the child's. It's kind of like a dance mom or something like that. So that really wasn't fulfilling to me either. So I found myself learning about real estate and real estate investment myself, ironically. But I found myself very successful in a short period of time having studied under Robert Allen. How many of you have heard of Robert Allen? Exactly. From the 80s, he was the no money down guru in real estate investment. And my partner and I, within the first 90 days of starting our real estate investment business, was able to generate $9,000 in 14 days with no money of our own. How many of you wouldn't mind doing that? Yeah, it was pretty exciting. However, real estate didn't really resonate with me either. It was easy, it was fun, but it really wasn't my passion. How many of you ever found yourself doing things that you enjoy doing, but it really didn't resonate or wasn't really your passion? Exactly. So, having been successful in real estate investment with Robert Allen, I was actually introduced to T. Harv Eker at one of the real estate seminars. And that's where I found myself attending the Millionaire Mind Intensive, just like you guys are doing today. Now, I had a choice. I could either invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in my education by going to like Harvard or Yale or trying to get into those elite schools, or I could invest close to like less than a quarter of that in my personal and business development by becoming a Quantum Leap student with peak potentials. And that's exactly what I did. So I'm here today because in the past 6 years, not only have I taken all of their courses, even though I am still on my path of financial freedom and well on my way each and every single day, I have made quantum leaps in other areas of my life, such as leadership, communication skills, personal relationships, sales, business. Exactly. And that's why I'm here to help you today do exactly what I've learned through Peak Potentials training. So how many of you are excited to do that today? Great. Well, let's get started.